Hey everybody, it's Driven AF Recovery. It is Friday night. We have Santino, Steven, Maddie. We're going to talk about quality over quantity tonight as far as a couple things with recovery, like the people we keep in our circle and the quality of our recovery versus the quantity of the recovery, which I'll let these guys expound on when we get to that. I'll start off a little bit with the people I keep around me is a small circle of people that have qualities that are similar to mine, I guess, to some degree. Like, we're driven, we're trying to do something with our lives, we believe in helping other people. There's loyalty involved where people, the people that are close to you aren't motherfucking you behind your back, that kind of shit. I mean, it's not a list of things that's insurmountable, but it's things that are kind of more rare in this day and age than they should be, at least for me. Like, that's what I find in life. I know a lot of people in my life, there's some good ones, but the people I keep very close to me are people like these two guys right here. They're like my brothers, my family that ain't blood, that I know I can rely on no matter what. And that shit is pretty hard to find, I think. I don't care about being popular with a whole bunch of people. I keep it real and the right people are around me, honestly. A lot of times I'm not the most popular person, as we were just talking to Dennis about, because I will say things how they are, and I do it to myself. I mean, I just did it tonight. I was getting all shitty about some stuff, and I was driving out here, and I'm like, all right, I just gotta stop being a fucking cunt, to be honest. Like, I talk to myself the same way I talk to people when they ask me my opinion. But, I mean, that doesn't always go over all that well in general. General speaking, people don't like hearing shit like that, because usually you're right. I mean, I don't like hearing I'm being a cunt either, but, I'm sorry for my language. Some people may be offended, I apologize, but that was the wording I used with myself because that's how I felt like I was acting. But I don't know, any thoughts to get started?
I like the quality over quantity topic just because, you can look at it in a few different ways, and Maddie touched on a couple of them. The quality of time you spend with people, the quality you have in recovery rather than how much time, and the quality of people you have around you. And I have been in a few different arenas, I guess, with some of that stuff where I thought if I had more people around me, my circle was bigger, my army was stronger. And I think in some aspects it could be true, but at the same time, as I've gotten older, I've realized that the more people I've had around me, the more chances I've had of getting hurt or let down or whatever. And people aren't flawless. They're going to make mistakes. It's up to me to where I want to have my expectations set on these individuals, But like Maddie said, I try to keep a core group of people around me, people that have some substance about their life. I look at it two ways, substance over style and quality over quantity. I've seen people in recovery that have had a lot of time, but just were kind of dry. We were talking about that, dry, white knuckling it and stuff like that. So the quality of your life, I think goes a long way. And another thing, I had mentioned this to these guys, the quality of time I spend with people, and I made an example, if you're a father or whatever, a mother, whatever the case is, and you buy your child something, but they need to learn how to use it, what's the point of buying it if you can't teach them how to use it? That's something that kind of, and that rings true with me too. I'm a dad, I have a daughter, and I wasn't always there while I'm using and drinking and stuff like that. So the quality of time I spend with her today has to have substance. And it might not be everything, is magnificent all the time. It might be the fact that she needs to do her homework and clean her room. It could be as simple as that. But my time is what's most important. Her time is what's most important, So I don't know. It's a good topic because it could be looked at in a lot of different ways. So.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like the first thing that comes to mind when we start talking about quality over quantity is like, what are you doing in relation to recovery, right? Like, okay, maybe for example, say you got 5 years, right? But what have you done in that 5 years? Have you helped other people? Have you gone outside yourself? Have you grown? Have you worked to become a better person every day? Or are you just not getting high and not drinking?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because to me, what's the point? You know what I mean? If you still have a crap, shitty quality of life, then it doesn't matter the quantity of your sobriety or how long you've been sober. Like, great, you got 10 years, but you're still an asshole. You're still treat people shitty. You know what I mean? So
You still act like an addict.
right,
You're just
you
not
know, you
using
still
it.
act like you did when you were using it. We were just kind of talking to the guys that we did the group with on this, and it's like, you know, to me, it's more important, you know, when I see guys that I keep around me, the few I do, that they're getting better every day. They're learning every day. They're growing every day. They're helping other people, and the point is, they strive to be better, and they use their time, you know, to do that, you know. And honestly, I was just thinking when you guys were talking, that's an area I can probably get better at. You know what I mean? And sometimes at night, you know what I mean, I'm watching TV and then I'll think about it. I'm like, man, I've been telling myself I'm gonna finish this book, and I read, you know, the minimum a night, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I should probably spend more of my time learning to become better in stuff that I'm interested in, instead of just sitting on the freaking couch watching TV. You know what I mean? Like, we only have so much time.
Yes.
It's true.
We've seen it time and time again that in recovery or not, in this life, we only have so much time, man. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing with it?
Right.
And I think it's especially important for addicts, you know. And you guys talked about the people around, and I don't need a lot of people around. I don't need, and that was something I struggled with before, was like wanting everybody to like me and needing people to like me. I'm over that. Just say I'm over that.
Did that? I mean, that made me not act like the person I really am a lot of the time.
Right.
And I don't need to do that anymore, man. I honestly got to the point, and it's very peaceful.
Yeah.
Where
And
if somebody doesn't like me, that's fine.
Yeah, and I don't say like the, oh, I keep my circle small because it's the cool thing to say, right? I say that because, like, I want people around me who are genuine.
Right.
People who aren't gonna, as soon as I walk out the league, be like, oh, that guy's Pokemon bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that. And so if, you know what I mean, if that means me having like a select, you know, 4 or 5 friends and maybe a select 10 people who I am in contact with at all, so be it.
Yeah.
That's fine. And it's, to me, it brings a better quality of life when it's that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what else it made me think about listening to you guys is and I know you two do it, and the more I think about it, like, you know, Dennis, Dodd, this is people that I am close with, which isn't many. We all live our lives as an example of what we talk about, what we do. Lead by example, by doing the shit that needs to be done, the shit you say you're gonna do. It's like simple things like that, but we're providing a way of life, not just in our words, but in our actions every fucking day. That matters to me, and the people that are around me, that matters to me, and everybody that is really close to me is doing the same thing.
Well, I think the important thing about what you just said too is that, you know, we, you know, Doc, for an example, is a great person that we've all learned from, you know, and that he's one example, you know. But let's talk about him for a second. He lives his life and walks by. He's a leader and he walks by example. So in turn, he's making other people do the same thing, whether they like it or not. And 2 things is going to happen: they're either going to acclimate to that, or they're not, and then they see where you stand with them. You know, so I think that's what's the greatest thing about watching what works with us, is that that's happening with all of us. You know, and I know it is. I know in my heart it's happening. I know you do, and I know you do. You know what I mean? And we don't have to be loud and talk about it. Our examples show. You know, and I think, again, that's where I like the substance over it, over the style.
I think
You know what I mean?
substance is the good word.
It absolutely is. It definitely is, man. I like things with substance and depth and conversations that got emotion involved in them. You know what I mean?
Real
So-
shit.
What that came to me when you were talking now is like, okay, you're speaking what you guys both just said,
Right.
is describing quality human beings, which is
That's
something
true.
none of us were.
Oh yeah,
Pretty recent,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Hell
Okay.
no.
So when you look at it like quality versus quantity, like, are you just out here talking all kinds of nonsense that you're not really doing? Like, that would be like the quantity. Like, you talk a lot,
Right.
You talk a lot.
We
but-
talked
but
about
you're
that
not
last
actually
week.
doing it,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? So like, to me, like, I would rather just keep my fucking mouth shut and do something and keep the few people close to me who have the like mind that they just want to do stuff, man. I want to help people. That's what I really want to do now, is I'm trying to help people. I feel like I'm in a pretty good place in my recovery, so I'm trying to help people. And if I'm not, I feel like I wouldn't have the quality of life, and I feel like I could be doing more. You know
It's
what I
like they
mean?
say with kids, I guess, you know, like, people are gonna do what you do, not what you say.
Right.
So your actions mean
Yep.
way more than any words are ever going to. And I did learn that from Doc. and like Mike Fisher, you know, and people like that, because that is how they live their lives. And I remember when I was sitting in treatment going, especially with Doc and Mike, you know, I was some of the first people I met, you, and I was like, man, I could stand to be a whole lot more like these fucking guys. Like, they give of themselves. They actually give a fuck about somebody other than themselves, about other people doing well, and like they actually just live it. You know, I remember Doc bringing us those hats for Christmas. You know, and I cried, man. I went back to my room and cried. I'm like, dude, this guy barely knows any of us. And he's fucking giving us Christmas presents so I don't feel like shit in rehab on Christmas Day.
I was there on Christmas too.
I was like, holy shit, man. Like, it hit me hard. And I'm like, I need to be more that way. You know, and I've tried to go out of my way to make that shit happen the last few years, but.
Well, I mean, and I think, like you said, like you guys both just said, that kind of sets the tone and sets the example, but like also, it makes the world a better place, you know what I mean? There's more people striving to be equality people that are unselfish, that don't just give a fuck about themselves, that their actions aren't just all about what benefits them, and like that's just gonna make everything better, addict or not, alcoholic or not. That's true. You know what I mean? Like this, what we've seen going on in this world is, it doesn't look like it's heading in a good direction.
Our culture is starting to reward the reverse shit.
We need more people doing more to better those around them, and like Jordan Peterson says that in one of his talks about how, you know, when you're older in age, you look back on your life. Are you going to look back on your life and see that you gave more to the world, that when you leave here, when you leave this place, when you pass on and go to wherever, that you left the place a little bit better than maybe before you got there? You know what I mean? And if you look at that in all areas of our lives, we should be looking. Now, granted, we're not always.
No.
You know, we're not always.
No.
I get to work some days. I don't want to be the best employee at work. You know, I don't want to be the best whatever. Some days I want to tell people to go jump off a bridge or whatever the case may be.
But you catch it, man.
But I try to catch it. That's exactly it. You know, and I want to say something too. Like you had mentioned something about people watching. You know, and I always talk about my daughter. You guys know this. My daughter's obviously a big part of my life. But like, she's at the age now that she is watching. She is watching very patiently. And she asks questions, and she wants to know this and wants to know that, and you're going to get there one day. And you know what I mean? So it's like,
she already was.
Yeah, right. And I have to check myself sometimes, because I want to act a fool and do this and do that. But this little girl, the most important person in my life, is watching. You know, so that helps me regulate myself. And it's not like I needed that to do that, but it just reminds me of, like, you know what, when she gets older, do I want her to have a quality person in her life? Do I want her to have a good man in her life? Or do I want her to have some scumbag that I was when I was getting high and drinking, and still acts like an asshole even while sober?
I mean,
you know, so.
Dude. Even with, it never goes away. I mean, even with my adult son and his mid-20s stepson, but son, I treat him, you know.
Sure.
You know, I catch myself wanting to flip out sometimes. I'm like, he's watching me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, if I act this way, he's gonna fucking think that shit's okay.
Right.
And I tell him it ain't okay, so I better fucking act the goddamn part myself.
Right.
Because what I do means more than what I say. You know what I mean?
I think that's like especially relevant in recovery, man, because, you know, like the guys, especially for like in our situation, right? Like, we come here for alumni groups, we come here and do groups, and we talk to these guys who are in there, man. And if we're talking about nonsense, if we're acting like fucking fools, if we're not living any type of quality life, that's, you know, we're setting the example for them that's okay and that's acceptable. And to me, it's not.
And it's not going to help them.
No, it's not going to help them. Like, our point is to try to help other people because we were helped, you know.
Right.
So I think leading a quality life, you know what I mean, and striving for that. Like you said, it's not always going to be perfect.
No,
it's not always going to. No. You know, but
That's
like we're conscious of it, and we're trying to be better at it, and that's the fucking point. You know what I mean?
That's why, I mean, even when we do these groups, man, when I fucking fuck up or my mindset gets fucked up, even if it's temporary, like tonight, I fucking keep it real and honest with it. Like,
sure.
I mean, even after, and I don't got a ton of time. I mean, 3.5 years is not a ton of time.
It's time.
But it's time, and
It's
what I've
quality
done
time.
with it is
Quality
been
time. That's what it is.
more or less quality. I've fucked up plenty of things. You guys know this, but you know, like, I fixed it the best I could. Yeah, but like, when I went in, I said, hey man, I didn't want to come here tonight, but this is something I love to do.
Right.
You guys help me as much as we try to help you. And like, this is why I got into this situation, and it's gonna happen. But I mean, I try to use the negative experiences to fucking help other people.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like you kind of just said, like one thing I've always admired about you is that from the time I met you, you've always been working on trying to become better.
Yes.
And so have you too, Santino.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, we've all had our ups and downs. I didn't get it right the first time, you
Sure.
know, and you know
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
But you came back and you kept going and trying to become a better person and trying to become a better quality person, and that's something you've always been conscious of, and that's something you guys kind of, you know, imparted on me and taught me too, man. And that's why I respect the shit out of both of you, and having you guys, you know, kind of help me get through my shit. Like that's what I'm consciously and constantly working on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like you said, your actions, whether you know it or not, other people are watching.
And then the beauty of that is that you pay it forward.
Yeah,
And this is
absolutely.
all,
Yeah.
that's what all this
Which
is.
is what you were talking
That's
about.
That's what
The world
all,
needs more.
Absolutely. That's what all this is, you know, and even in like, you know, like church religion, you know, they teach you just to be a better person in general, the 12 steps of support groups, that's the whole, you know, big thing too, is just to be a better person
That's
for
what
the
the
next,
steps are for.
absolutely, for the next individual, you know, to see, to walk through, to walk with, whatever. And I think the three of us all are doing a fantastic job at that. And I know these videos aren't about, you know, to tell the world how great we're doing, but like showing, like, look, this is what we're doing, and it's possible for those around us.
And what I
You know?
think our hope is that people out there watching
Right,
are going to do the
right,
same thing, and then
right.
that becomes infectious to a point where everybody's doing that.
Exactly.
The world's going to
That's
be a
the
better
hope.
place,
Yeah,
hopefully, right? I mean, that's the
Hey,
idea.
Like
but-
Jordan Peterson, right?
Right.
You know, just
Like Andy Friselis is the same shit. All these guys kind of do. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that Jordan does it in a way that, I don't know, man. It's hard to top.
it's
but-
just man.
But I mean, they're all saying the same thing,
Yeah,
basically.
no,
Like,
right,
if we're
right.
all better human beings to each other, for each other, and as a community, individually, and then your neighbors, then your community, and then it spreads out to where fucking the whole world's gonna be a better place, ideally, anyway. you know? But if we don't fucking do our part, and everybody out there, we're hoping, you know, like, pay it forward, help other people, and
Part of the solution, not the
yeah,
problem.
absolutely.
And I think just lastly, real quick, like it kind of goes with what you just said. It's like when you're in recovery, like we were not very good people, as we just said beforehand, right? So I think it's especially pertinent for everybody in recovery to strive to become a better person, because it's a complete 180 from the old lifestyle that they lived. So it's something they're not comfortable, not used to doing. You know what I mean? And like, then it's gonna, like we just said, keep trickling down the line. They get clean, they show other people like, hey man, like
Right.
this is how you live a quality life in
Yes.
recovery, and it's fucking great.
Right.
It's good, even on the bad days. It's still
Yeah,
good.
and like, you know, that like you just said that and it brought up a thought, you know, like my whole life while using and drinking, and even when not, if I'm not addressing issues, if I'm not getting to root causes of things, I still will act like that jagoff, that asshole, manipulating, whatever. You know, I took my whole life. I didn't want to give. I always took. You know, so I think it is very important now for me to make sure that I'm giving back as much as I can, when and how I can, within reason. Okay, I gotta still take care of myself, of course, you know. But I just think, you know, and that's something that I think about every day. What can I give back? What can I do to try to make, you know, somebody better or help or whatever? You know, and I just think that's really important.
And I'm gonna like illustrate it just, and I'm gonna use this community just because this is the community I know.
Right.
But you know, we got different amounts of time, and that is what it is. I don't like. I've never given a fuck about that because everybody's doing the same shit.
Right.
But like, we came in at the same time the first time. But like people like Justin, well, we don't speak anymore. But like, he paid it forward. Wes paid it forward. Certain people paid it forward, and Doc and Mike. And then I was like, all right, I'll get clean, trying, you know, and it took me a while to get myself right, obviously, when I got out.
Right.
Because I had a lot of struggles, you know, like we all do, but, and I started trying to pay it forward, and you guys are paying it forward. Like, people we're helping are paying it forward. You know, that's how this shit spreads.
All circulates.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
That's right.
that's kind of the hope, man. Shit gets better that way. Addiction, recovery gets better. The world gets better.
Right.
People get better. That's a good thing for everybody.
So everybody listening out there, keep circulating.
Yeah.
Keep going. Right.
Bringing
Yeah.
other people up with you, because
Right.
as I like to say, there's plenty of room for everybody to succeed. You know, we don't have to fucking hate and tear down people, man. Like, build people up. Be happy when you see people doing well, because fuck it, man. There's enough room for all of us to do well.
Right.
There's enough to go around.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. You know, and like, I think that's part of the like general culture issue too. Like, everybody'd rather fucking tear you down than build up, and that's not helping anybody,
Well,
including the people doing the tearing down.
How does that meme go? Everybody wants to see you do good until you're doing better than them.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? Yeah, so,
But you know what? I love seeing people do well, man. That's
Right.
the reason this is so much fun.
yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up, I guess. And then if you guys had any other closing thoughts, I mean, it was good. We kind of glossed over the time thing, but I think that kind of speaks for itself, man. You can be sober forever, but you're still a miserable prick acting like an addict.
Yeah.
That's not much of a quality. But yeah. Anyway, everybody keep paying it forward. Is the
Right.
bottom line.
Keep it moving. That's
You know,
right. Keep it moving.
Let's keep a movement going. Everybody doing positive shit and holding each other up. And so that's it for this week. We're gonna try and make this an every Friday thing. We all got crazy schedules, but we're gonna make it happen. So thank you, everybody, you know, that watches, and you know, you do a lot for us too. Obviously, as we talked about last week, this is all good for us. It's good for everybody. Let's everybody keep winning. You know, if you think this helps somebody, share it on social, or share it with whoever, however you want. You know, let us know how we're doing or what you might want to hear about, you know, the comments or anything, you know, like we will take it into consideration and address shit, because we need ideas too.
And as always, if you or anybody you know is struggling, man, reach out.
Yeah.
We do have resources to get guys into treatment, and aftercare and all that, man. So if you know anybody who needs help, or you know somebody who you think maybe, you know, we could try to help, please reach out.
That's definitely how it's done. And we have all the contact information is on the Driven AF Recovery YouTube page. There's a separate video that just says contact information, has all three of our info for you to be able to get a hold of us, and different groups like Brothers in Arms on Facebook, and just all our personal shit. So if you need something, please reach out.
Yep.
We will definitely be happy to help. So everybody, have a great week. Pay it forward. Keep doing well, and we will see you soon. Take care.